Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Switch Hitter Podcast. I am your host, Red, where we will talk all things Yankees baseball, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And speaking of ugly, what happened last night? What happened? It was a rough game. It was a rough game to watch. It was very long. Final score, 1-2. Mariners going over. But we were coming off a good win streak. We swept our first series. Give you a recap. 325, 7-0 versus the Giants. Opening night on the road. It was awesome. We had scores run by Bellinger, Rice, Stanton, Chisholm, Caballero, McMahon, and my boy Wells, who we'll be talking about a little bit later in the show. On the 27th of March, 3-0 versus the Giants. We saw that trend go down a little bit. 7-0. Now 3-0. All right, still win's a win, right? Runs were in by Goldschmidt, Judge, and good old Bellinger. Then, March 28th, third game on the road, 3-1, Giants. All right, still won, 3-1, is what it is. Runs in by Grisham, Judge, and Belly. And then last night. Last night was the problem. What happened? We fell to the Mariners 1-2. Only run that we got in that day was by Rice. All right. We're finishing up week 1 of the MLB season. We got another game tonight, 3:31 against the Mariners on the road, 9:40 p.m. Hopefully we can come back, win the series 2-1. See what happens. A couple things I wanted to talk about from that game. We saw Ryan Weathers' debut. I liked how he did. He did 4 innings, only had 4 hits, gave up 2 walks, and only gave up 1 run in the entire time he was on the mound. He looked a little nervous. He was confident. His throwing was there, but you could tell I think he was a little nervous. I don't think people really cared how he did. I think really what stole the show that game was Blackburn, an experienced player. He let 3 hits in the 9th and got that walk-off at the end of the game. So everyone was losing their mind. Why did we bring in Blackburn? Why did we do this? Us Yankee fans were very reactionary. So I could see why people were upset. But we're only a couple games into the season. But I can see where a lot of these people are coming from. Watching Blackburn last night coming in the 8th and then go into the 9th inning, I was getting flashbacks of Devin Williams, which I'm not even going to get into on the Mets right now, but I was getting some flashbacks. So hopefully Blackburn will ease into it. Hopefully Boone will realize to not put him in those high-stakes situations when he's not warmed up or when he's not ready yet. But I think he can be an asset to this team. I think we'll be okay. But it's one game, Our hopes of going 162-0 have been dashed very early in the season, but I think, as Yankee fans, I think we'll be okay. One big thing I wanted to talk about was ABS. I absolutely love this feature. It's incredible watching these umpires get so frustrated and angry at themselves. And they're not even getting angry at themselves. They're getting angry at the players. If you're watching the game last night, the announcers were talking about how, this is going to make sure that there's not that many fights anymore with the mound or with the coaches. And Boone was still snipping at the umpire and he threatened to throw him out, which was just hilarious to me. But it just goes to show how incompetent these refs and how power hungry I guess they've gotten over the years, where this is their job. They know what they're doing, and nobody else can tell them anything. The Yankees went 5 for 5 last night with ABS. 2 times with Caballero, 1 time with Stanton, and 1 with Chisholm, all challenging the pitches from the umpire and getting it right every time. We saw Judge do this a couple times already this season, and it really has been changing the way these games play out. Now, did it change the way last night helped? No, not really, but it's going to add a lot of uncertainty to the season. And it throws a wrench in everything. Castillo from the Mariners threw an extra 9 pitches, which really will have ripple effects that we just don't know yet. This could change batting orders. It could change pitching counts. It's really going to be interesting to see how this affects the pitchers down the line. And I mean, if you can get Judge or Stanton or Rice another at-bat, if a Chisholm or Wells challenges a call, that's going to be game-changing as we continue. I think we're going to pick up some games that way, especially with Judge getting a lot of those low strikes. Those are the ones he challenged already. He's so tall that obviously it's going to seem like a strike's a strike, but he knows what the deal is. I'd be curious to see how it really plays out, because you're putting a lot of faith into your players to just be able to challenge that. And it's a split-second decision that they got to make. And sometimes egos could be fueled from both the players and the umps. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. I'm a little worried about Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, he's reaching the end of his time with the Yankees. I don't see him re-signing at the end of his deal. I think it ends in 2027. I got to recheck that. But back in February, he made that comment about can't open a bag of chips without his elbows hurting. And I think a lot of people freaked out about that. And he has been still a really strong hitter, but I guess you could already start to see Ben Rice coming up. And I'm really excited to see where Ben Rice goes in this situation. But I don't know. I mean, Stanton he's been in almost every game now, if not every game. And I'm just worried about his longevity through the season if we're not going to give him a rest. So we'll see. I mean, he started the season late. I think he came in after Memorial Day last year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens when we hit June, when we hit that lull in July, which we always get. I'm worried. I'm a little worried, but would be a Yankees fan if we weren't worried, right? Next thing I want to touch upon was just the overall look of the team. And honestly, a lot of people were upset that we weren't acquiring new assets, investing in the bullpen, letting people go. I'm happy with the way the team looks. I'm happy seeing these players out there, and I think they're starting to mesh well. This is about the second or third season now. We're seeing a lot of the same players. Really, since Soto left is kind of when the biggest change happens. But we're seeing a lot of the same players. I think they're starting to get it on how to work as a team. Sacrificing that out, that infield fly to get somebody home on third. I think we're starting to see that meshing well instead of this every man kind of for himself mentality, which I think we saw a lot of last year. And it wasn't so much an ego thing. I just think they didn't know how to play together yet, really. We have a lot of young guys on the team. So, you have your Judge, you have your Bellingers and your Goldschmidts, but there are a lot of young guys. You got your Chisholms, you got your Grishams, Dominguez, who is obviously not on the team right this moment. He's down in the minors, but he'll be coming back, I'm sure. Maybe not this season, but soon. So I like having this kind of new guard, old guard, and kind of meshing them together and seeing how they do. So I have no doubts that we're going to make a postseason run this year. World Series, we'll see. That's always the goal. But Yankee fans have it really well. We have it really well. We've been a winning team for a long, long time. It's just what's going to get us over that hump. And that's the biggest challenge. I'm really excited to see how the bullpen will flesh out once we get our ace back, once we get Cole back, once we get Rodon back. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I love Tim Hill, so he's there. He's making moves. Schlittler is looking really good. So once we get our big guys back, it's going to be really interesting to see. And I'm kind of glad that they're waiting, because these first month or two of the season, you want to get wins. And I have no doubt we are going to get wins. But once we start getting our pitching, I'm interested to see. And so far it's been good. I mean, we let up only 3 runs in the last 4 games. So we'll see how it is once we get our aces back. What I want to see is I want to see the hitting improve. I mean, we did really well that first game against the Giants, 7-0, a lot of runs. But you've seen now there's a trend where they're losing their timing a little bit. And they're not even losing it because the season just started. They don't have it yet. But I want to see them improve on that. Just hit the ball. I mean, we see our big guys getting it. You got your Judge, you got your Stantons, your Rice. They're hitting, but it's the timing thing. And I think we'll work those kinks out. A lot of the guys are playing, and obviously in the World Baseball Classic, which maybe helped a little bit, but they weren't at spring training as much getting those reps. So it's going to take a little bit of time, I think, to get it. I want to keep these quick. I want to keep it fresh. So I want to do a player spotlight at the end of each episode. And I'm going to kind of go from position to position. But today, I want to talk about one of our young guys. And I mean, he's young. He's already 4 seasons in. It's crazy to think how he's almost more seasons than some of the other players. But this guy is Austin Wells. I really, really like Austin Wells. I want his hitting to improve. He's been promising. He's not the biggest. He's usually always closer to the middle end of the lineup. But I really like what I see from Austin Wells. University of Arizona guy, 26 years old. He's called up to the big leagues on September 1st, 2023. Again, I said this is going to be his 4th season. Give you an idea of some of his averages so far. Batting average has been .219, OBP .275, OPS .712. So we've seen his productivity dip a little bit in the last 2 seasons. But I'm not too worried about that. Again, you have those lulls. Again, not the strongest hitter, but obviously with that OPS, he's been getting on base. So he's doing his part. And again, as we were talking about with the ABS, he's going to be a help once he hits that ball and gets that lineup back to our first 3 or 4 guys. It's going to help. Of course, notoriously, he represented the Dominican Republic in the 2026 World Baseball Classic. But something I really noticed with him is just his general confidence as a catcher. He is such a stud behind the plate. He's very confident. He's very mindful of where the ball is at all times. He's just a stud. He really is behind the plate. He just knows what he's doing. He's not arguing with the ref. He's not. I mean, this is just basic catcher stuff, obviously, but he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing behind there. And I want to see his batting match that level because he is just, I'm really happy having him behind the plate. He's been 3 for 3 in his ABS challenges so far, and he's not making the umps mad, which that's something to really be aware of because if you make them mad, they might not give you the calls that you need. So, young guy, 4th season, he's starting to get that experience in. I'm happy to have him on our team, and I think I get nervous. I get nervous when I see Ben Rice behind the plate. And I don't think he's going to have that many reps there this year because obviously they want to play around with him and Stanton and all that. And they've been moving him around to first. And now, so we'll see. But I'm always happy when he's behind the plate because I can breathe a sigh of relief with that. As of this moment, we don't have a batting lineup yet. It's looking like Max Fried, my boy, the left-handed pitcher, will be taking on Logan Gilbert, the right-handed pitcher. Really liking what Max Fried has been doing this year. He's one of my favorites. He's an ace. But he's been really, really good so far, and I'm excited to see him continue and flesh out as we go. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Looking forward to the lineup. Looking forward to seeing what these guys can do on the field. Late game, 9:40 T-Mobile Park. Yankees versus Mariners. Looking forward to that home opener on Friday. It's going to be packed. Hopefully it's going to be electric. With that said, I've been your host, Red. You're listening to the Switch Hitter Podcast. Thank you so much. All the information located in our bio. If you got any questions for us, hit us up. And I will see you on the field.